All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You can't see me this time. We're having a little bit of a behind-the-scenes technical difficulties, but I am here nonetheless, and I'm very excited to watch this match for AEL week number 7. I'm joined by the Fallen Sanctum, as always. How's it going?
I'm very excited to cast the legendary 6-7 match. Well, I'll be making that joke a lot tonight.
Oh, I'm sure. And for those of you who aren't aware, this match today will decide who gets the 6th seed and who gets the 7th seed going into playoffs. So pretty important match, actually, because that does depend on who your opponent will be first round. So what are you thinking about these teams overall, Sanctum?
Well, last week we finally got treated to what I'd consider a good best of 3. you know, where Ash players finally like turned their screen on when they were playing, so it was fantastic. The ending was very anticlimactic though, so don't rush to go watch the VOD because you're gonna be as disappointed as I was when I was casting it. Yeah, I don't know. We are on a new patch. We're on 26.15, and there are some changes. But the make bot lane great again patch is not happened yet, so mage bot lane still a thing. Probably gonna see Ziggs bans or Mel bans or some variety of shenanigans. Maybe Victor. It's proven, at least in competitive, to have been the most successful bot laner pick. That and Syndra. We have seen some changes to jungle though, so maybe we're moving a little bit away from the typical Sundered Sky only players, and we might see some new faces, you know, maybe a Belva, maybe some Brand, maybe some Poppy, you know. But yeah, I see the Syndra ban, so that clearly feels like a bot lane ban. I know for most people Syndra is not a bot lane ban, but if you watch any esport at all, it's a bot lane ban. Akali somehow has become like the de facto tier triple S plus mid lane pick that you can just blind and things work. We've got engaged junglers and Orianna being taken off the board, so honestly I'm excited to see if we're getting an early bot lane pick. The Ashe still open, pretty powerful right now, but we've seen a huge rise in Jhin and Kai'Sa. So as they are rather frankly good answers into these annoying mage picks. So we'll have to see. One dive him really well, and the other can run him down really fast. So yeah, the Victor 80 carry has been locked in. Can be a mid lane flex, but with how broken the arcane space beam is, you'd rather just use it to clear waves instead of having to actually try to use it to survive in team fights. And I just pushed away bot lane AFK for like 15 years. You scale for free.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams, I think both of them did play at least one mage bot lane last week, so they're definitely comfortable doing it. They've done it before. Although, when I was looking back at those matches last week, it did look like both of them had subs in different roles. So I'll be curious to see if we do have the full roster this week, because this is a pretty important match going into playoffs. But either way, I think Pride did play Victor mid last week, if I'm remembering correctly. So definitely can be flexed there if they want it, but it's the Senna picked up by Squirtle Squad alongside the Nautilus, a pretty classic pairing there.
The big problem though that I see with Senna is if it's Senna 80 carry, which it is Senna like short range comps, and Victor isn't going to give you an inch in lane. He's going to press E, and he's going to press E, and he's going to be like 900 yards away. So I don't, because his stacking from minions sucks. The center support gets more stacks a minute than Senna 80 carry. And I think the new record low, at least that we've seen at 20 minutes, is like 35 stacks, which is god awful, because it means you'd have to be at like 45 minutes before the Senna is even like actually a used to be good champion. But it seems that Victor is mid. We see the Lucian Brawl, which honestly I really like against Nautilus. Does punish the players quite badly if they do misengage because of the Winter's Bite, that stun, and Lucian just doing so much damage in these rather short range team fights. So it'll be dangerous to see a Squirtle Squad misplay the early game, because Lucian can snowball really, really fast.
Yes, he can. And like you were saying, I love the Braum into the Nautilus. Braum just beats most melee supports. That's kind of like his deal. But alongside Lucian, obviously you have a little bit of synergy there with the passive. So Lucian's able to proc that stun just a little bit easier than some other AD carries. But I also really like this as kind of a transition into the late game with Victor scaling. You know, Lucian is very strong early and mid game, and I think it might be a good bridge to get kind of a carry threat at all stages of the game here for Pride.
Fair enough, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of the way it is a pseudo answer into Victor. I mean, it matches Victor because it has basically the same amount of wave clear. But in terms of like usefulness come team fights, we're gonna have to see a little bit more of picks being found, at least from the jungle and top position, because right now outside of Nautilus kind of yelling Leroy Jenkins and going in, we don't really have a fun way to start a team fight. I do like the Neferi ban here from the side of Squirtle Squad with the likes of Victor and Lucian already on the team. You don't really need that much of an engaged jungler. You can just start team fights with a random culling, and if someone gets chunked to 20%, you just take whatever objective and you win the game. So that's normally the game plan. If Senna is mispositioned, she blows her flash or she dies.
Yeah, and I mean, I like these bans coming out as you were talking about. One thing I'll be looking here for Squirtle Squad is to try and get kind of that bridge that I was talking about for Pride, but for themselves. I'm looking to have kind of like a, fighter jungler, as we've seen a ton, is probably the most likely there. But I would honestly not hate getting an aggressive top side and trying to play through there. Give your Hui and Senna a chance to scale, maybe pick something a little bit more engage heavy alongside the Nautilus. I think that could be really, really good here, but we'll see what they want to go for the R4 pick. This will be a blind pick, because so far we've matched roles and everything, and Wukong is the highest presence champ in AEL so far, so it makes sense they would just lock that one in.
So the problem that I'm seeing is that a lot of the Squirtle Squad damage is projectile based, and the one thing that Braum is known for is saying no to projectiles. I mean, if the Hui ult gets fired early and it just hits the door, okay. I mean, you do have to bait the unbreakable. I do like this Shyvana here. I feel like it's like, okay, there's like no Silas because the jungle and mid pick are already here, and it doesn't really look like Sana doesn't kill tanks really fast, like at all. She goes static Shiv, Black Cleaver and stuff like that, and also Senna just naturally attacks slower. So Ornn, just a really good tank, yeah, I like Pride's lineup a little bit more right now. It's just going to depend what we get here in the top lane for Squirtle Squad. But you are right, we definitely do need something like aggressive. The Gnar can be good, but the biggest thing we can talk badly about Gnar is playing poorly in mini Gnar, because the mini Gnar stats are worse than Onyx's. Okay, like who would think that a giant snake would be slower than a patch of grass? Right? But when you're Mega Gnar, you're a useful champion. When you're Mini Gnar, you can get 100 to 0 by just about any Taco Bell wet fart. So we'll see here who's able to play the early game properly, because a lot of the times when we see the Gnars kind of like falter is when they do when it goes downhill. So if they can bridge the early game, I feel like they can do a lot. But outside of that, I mean, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for Squirtle Squad if they're not playing with a goalie, because this Lucian Victor definitely feels more comfortable than Senna Hui.
Yeah, it does. I do like what Pride have set up a little more so far. I just don't like the Gnar kind of off of principle here. Like, if you're saving top lane counter pick, you should pick something that's going to counter, going to do really well. And Gnar can get a lead against Ornn, and he can play that ranged matchup pretty well, but I don't think you're really going to be getting the same value as if you had picked something, like a Rumble with lane dominance, or a Vayne as like a type counter there. So who knows, maybe it was a champ pool thing, but I don't love picking like a blind pickable champ on R5 necessarily. But I still do see some strengths here for Squirtle Squad. They have good scaling. They do have good engage with the Nautilus Wukong together. Not to mention the wild card of the Mini Gnar turning into Mega, I guess, during those fights. Yeah. But either way, I think I do favor Pride's composition overall. Yeah.
In terms of dragons, I'll be honest, I kind of want to see front to backs. So I'm gonna go with the Hextech Dragon. Just because the ease that both these teams have to just constantly proc the Hextech Soul going forward in team fights, I feel like would make for the more interesting side of team fights.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I know how many times I've been in that position. Hextech Dragon just procking from a mile away with Hui and Senna. I could see that too. I think for myself, I'll go with a Mountain Soul. I see some tanky people here. And I'm not the biggest fan of Lucian in general, so I don't want to see him one-shotting anyone.
Fair. Well, we'll have to see here that there has been like not a sunk cost fallacy, but kind of like a divided camp of Lucian players of whether you go ER into Flicker Blades or you go ER IE Quick Blades. So we'll have to see which version of Lucian we get, because having the Infinity Edge second with the Essence River, yes, you do lose out on a decent bit of attack speed and cooldown, but the overall just burst, flat out just press button kill person is like 2.5 times higher. So we'll have to see what kind of build we get here out of Pride.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it for sure. And since we didn't really get a good intro this time around, I will say that this is another cross-group match here between the Hextech and Chemtech group. We have Pride representing the Hextech group here. They are number 3 in the group after the regular season was over. And since Squirtle Squad, we're number 4 in the Chemtech group. So maybe a slight edge here to Pride, but these teams actually do have the same overall record. They are both 3-2 in their match scores. So could be a pretty close game. I'm expecting these teams have done a decent amount of winning, but also a decent amount of losing throughout the group stage here. So I'm expecting hopefully some bloody gameplay, some explosive team fights, and a close match overall.
I'll be honest, if we're going to see any action, it's probably going to be towards the top side. I know it's Ornn versus Narn and doesn't feel like there's going to be a lot of action, but unless Squirtle Squad try to int the Nautilus into a Brom door, I don't think we're going to see much except a bit of farming, because it's so heavily Lucian favored that even though Senna is Lucian's wife, Lucian will never see Senna as a potential partner, and that's why Senna can never be played as a real support besides her own husband. So...
Yep, I could definitely see some problems there for Squirtle Squad. I think Senna in general, like you said, just struggles to kill the tanks. That's what I'm really going to be looking at here. I think there's a very good chance that Ornn gets some armor and then kind of just walks over every team fight.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're getting near the end of draft here, so I think we're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you on the Rift shortly. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift, game number 1 of this playoff seeding match. As Kuzu giving us some early action, walking right up. Surely this isn't a kill though, right? Slow. Oh, health bar getting low. Flash does come out, but no flash follow yet. But Sanctum, tell me how you're feeling about this one.
Well, I liked. We loaded in with 4 TPs, but Anar soft-hinting level 1. There's no reason to check that brush on mini Nar. I'll be 100% honest. If anything, your mid laner can walk to their turret first, just drop a ward in the bush, and then it'll be good. But with how short the pre-laning phase is, you don't really have time to fafo. You know, if you fafo, well, you're gonna foe. I mean, Ornn with flash advantage early. If Kuzu ever misplays a short hop, he could just die. So we see the boomerang doing less damage than the Ornn Q at level 1. So what we're seeing here in mid lane is normal. You know, when the spells are on cooldown, they'll be trying to auto attack each other instead of farming the wave. This is not the LCK. We don't prioritize farming here.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup is particularly bad for Hui in my experience. I mean, it's like fine once you get to those later levels, but your early trades just completely are outclassed by Victor. So that's kind of what we're seeing so far, but you know, you should be able to hold on. Hui's pretty good at farming from range and staying safe. As far as the bot lane matchup goes, for me, I love being the Braum here for so many reasons. As we were kind of talking about earlier, you know, those concussive blows stack, as we just saw there. And it is just very nice to have that pressure in lane as well.
Yeah, most mages, for the most of it, are kind of useless without a Lost Chapter. So they you know, I've been playing a lot of Classic where, you know, you start Doran's Ring and then you pray that your opponent like misplays or lets you farm so that I can get like my Sapphire Crystal in peace. Or like 2 fairy charms. 17 years later, mana fixing still hasn't been a reality outside of some really busted champions who have not had their base damages ever adjusted. Victor being one of them.
Yep, as we're gonna see both junglers moving towards this crab here. It looks like Court is still finishing the blue buff. So now here's the skirmish. We actually had a ward there. So Court being the one to engage this fight. But look who's here first. It's Jack. Jack is the backup. Bear just had to leave. Court JJ should just go down here. That's first blood over to the Shyvana, and that's definitely not a good look there for Court.
Yeah, I'll be honest, holding your flash. Ooh, Kuzu almost getting lucky on that. And good flash by Valter, but like the people holding their flash for the next game, you know, the early game is more impactful than the late game, right? So you kind of don't want to be set behind when you're a AFK farming jungler. And Wukong losing his buff, at least he lost his buff to Shyvana, so it's not like the worst thing. Shyvana just gets like a buff refresh, but if Victor had gotten those double buffs, that would have been real nasty. You know, it's a really nice trade here from Saucy. Once again, D-Shot just being used like the sandbag in Smash Bros. And it's a good hook, but I mean, what do you want Senator to do? She's got a 45 damage Q. And a 50 damage auto attack. She went Doran's Helm for crying out loud. This thing's a support, not an AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, Senna will take a long time to get online, that's for sure. And we were talking about in the champ slide just being worried about killing the Ornn. But real quick, some things I noticed here is these names didn't really add up here in the top side or the support role for me for Pride. I was looking at the main roster here, and it looks like they have 2 of their substitutes in. The jungler is a substitute, and so is the support. They are on the official sub list, so they probably do play with the team, I'd imagine. But just something important to note here, as actually we have a trade forward. Cloud gets ignited and stunned. Flash forward from Saucy. One more auto would have done it, but not quite able to get it. So Cloud walks away, but does have to use both summoner spells to live there.
That's really painful. It's a little sad to lose the kill opportunity. But I mean, Senna not having TP here. Decent part of the wave is going to get crashing. I mean, if Nautilus stays, here's the hook. I mean,
Court coming around the edge too. Ignite down onto Laos. There's the first kill. Court redeeming himself right off the bat. Saucy wants to go for the kill, but D-Shot is too high HP. The next kill will go over to the support of Squirtle squad, sadly, but either way, that's 2 kills for them.
Yeah, a little bit of catch up here for the Wukong who got mugged by Shyvana at the crab, but unfortunately, Nautilus picking up a kill. Not technically a good omen because if the Nautilus gets cocky, which a lot of Nautiluses do, they tend to think they're immortal, and the Nautilus. By far, at least in competitive play, the champion with the highest deaths per game average worldwide.
We could be looking at the Cloud here too.
I mean, yeah, but Shyvana pre-6, you should never gank as a Shyvana pre-6, right? Because you need that level 6 so that whenever your ult is on cooldown, you can build back with the trades or whatever to get it going back up. And I really like what the Braum is doing here. He's letting Lucian farm, and every time Senna walks up, he throws a Winter's Bite at her face, and if she stays, she probably dies.
Yeah, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Kuzu in the top side there as well. You know, I wasn't that thrilled about the Gnar matchup, but so far it has been pretty high pressure, pretty high octane there in the top side. Who knows how it'll turn out in the mid game, but for now I am liking what I'm seeing. But I'm not liking what I'm seeing in the Dragon Pit right now, because that is a mountain dragon icon, which means I'm already wrong right off the bat. So not a good omen for this series for me.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, here we see the difference in mid lane purchases, right? You see like half a lost chapter to the Faded Ashes, which means that Victor, at least whenever he walks up to take a trade against Bar, will have a significant advantage just in terms of having actual damage. Because, you know, who knew that buying mana outside of being on Kassadin, Blitzcrank, and Rise didn't actually do any damage? Yeah, no. So far, being able to keep up in CS is respectable. Victor is one of the more annoying champions to lane against. It just feels like he has infinite cooldowns, infinite costs, and nothing ever matters when Victor's in lane. He just presses herder, laser, go boom boom, and he's a happy man. Oh, we've reached the funny number once this game. How many times
level
will we reach it?
6s ticking over here for all of our bot lanes. Dragon's Descent available too. Shyvana's coming in on the side, but definitely harder for Braum to be the one going in. So here's Court though to back it up. Could turn into a 3v3.
The Fatherless almost finished here for Shyvana. Definitely going to be a big power spike. And so far, Kuzu hasn't really been able to push much of a lead outside of like about a wave and a half. Which, honestly, as this R5 counter or advantaged pick, and not really what you want to see. You need to see more. Because tanks, if they're only down 10 CS, then you failed the mission. It's like playing Splinter Cell, but forgetting to plug your headphones in, so you instantly fail the stealth section.
At least it's not the North American Jace that somehow is down CS, well, being a ranged champion. So I'll take a little bit of a CS lead there, you know.
Ooh, Dragon Prio to Shyvana, though. This is a little bit nasty. Cord, I think, wants to see if he can find something, but hey, just going to be stuck taking his blue, at least for now. We have a Cloud Drake up next, so my hopes are still alive this game. Let's go! Oh, okay. We're gonna miss the fireball.
Could be in some trouble. Nice flee there. Dragon's Descent not used, actually. Would have liked to see a nice unstoppable time in there. But either way, we got a fight in the bot side. Dredgeline connects. Klaus trying to disengage. Here's the Ignite. Court can't quite reach it. Does actually use the flash to try and get there. But it will be Braum just walking away.
Yeah, that's flash for no flash. That's huge. Wukong without flashes. Much less of a useful champion compared to Wukong with flash, because you can just get that surprise sneak attack while you're still invisible with a warrior trickster. Ooh, but though Cloudberry could be in trouble. Here comes the calling.
Yes, here's the Dragon's Descent, trying to catch it, but actually really nice use of the E there from Cloud. No one could auto attack, no one could proc those concussive blows and actually get the stun off. So first Shyvana ultimate does not amount to much.
That the intangibility from the Senna E is rather probably one of the most annoying things to have to play against, just because, oh, you can't see me, you can see me, but you can't touch me. It's like, okay.
Nice trade on the top side. I think Volter's a little too tanky for any of that damage to stick, though. But, you know, nice trade either way.
Yeah. It is going to force the refillable charge and might force an early recall, but I mean, we are getting close to that unending despair, which is an interesting first item here on the Ornn. Normally you want to see like a Sunfire Cape style item or something else. Oh, okay, but Court sees a low health Ornn.
Oh, yes. Nice use of the Cyclone. This is a Dawning Shadow, actually, so Cloud picks it up from across the map. Now we got a 1v1 here between our two junglers. Kuzu could make it a 2v1. Here we go. Trying to get on the Shyvana. No ultimate available. Should just be free as Kuzu picks up that one. And this is looking pretty good for the Squirtle squad for over the last couple minutes.
Yeah, they needed to play with a subtle advantage early just because of the nature of their champions that need time to scale. So they lost the first dragon, yes, but they've got money in their pocket. I assume when our recalls, it's going to be the Triforce, because, yeah, I think it's Triforce once he gets that plate. He should be good to go. That'll allow him to just randomly ult the Ornn whenever he sees fit, seeing as every time the Mega Gnar is up, the Mega Gnar, which is the name of his ultimate, is back up. It's only like a 15-second cooldown at, like, I think rank 1 or something, so it's rather really low, but you can only use it in Mega Gnar, of course. Ooh.
Oh. There's the Glacial Fissure invested from Laos, trying to get the engage, but it actually hits no one. The Concussive Blow stun will come off, but D-Shot just a little bit too tanky. Oh, here's Baron in the mid lane, though. Has to be very careful of that Arcane Storm, but now they're on to Jack. The ultimate does land. That Spiraling Despair would do so much burst damage. There's Court picking up the kill, and this Wukong has been all over the map so far. But here's the calling actually coming out, but nice cancel there from the Dredge line. Saucy does do a lot of damage, though, so there's the shutdown still. Even without the ultimate, this Lucian does so much damage. Flash hook, but it doesn't connect. TP in too little, too late. Kuzu gets the double hop. The flash over the wall actually does get the kill on to Saucy Hunt. Now here's the ultimate as well. Trying to catch Braum, trying to get Laos before he can get back to the tower. Nice flash there from earlier, but there's the boulder to pick it up. Kuzu with the double kill. Now 3 levels ahead of the Shyvana as well, so this is not a very fair fight. And the Gnar's teleport really turned that around.
Yeah, that beautiful play by Kuzu. We said he had to step it up this game because, especially after fumbling that level 1 by burning his flash, it's definitely showing us that there's merit to the level of play that he's been able to display. Bar actually going to be really happy about laning against this Ornn. Ornn's only built armor and Hui only does magic damage, so that unending despair isn't going to do much for the poke. It's not going to be that meaningful.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Can we get a gold check on the Gnar at this point? Like, what is that? Like 4 plates, like so many kills, almost 6,000 gold just for the Gnar right now. That is almost 2,000 ahead of their respective opponent.
All right, when you look at the other lanes, though, it's a 300 deficit here for Senna, and it's even, and if not, like a 400 advantage for Wukong. So Gnar has all the money. If Gnar is not there, there is no gold. So we'll have to be careful about taking team fights and scuffles without. Ooh, okay, but
Jack, no flash. Again. Cyclone's back up as well. Ooh. No shot there for the victor as Court picks up another one. Now 3 kills on the Wukong as well.
A beautiful gnarl to make sure that even though the gravity field would resolve with a double stun, the Gnar stun still lasts a decent amount of time, so they had time to make sure they were going to get him. They knew there was no flash since the last gank, and yeah, no, things are just looking really good. Though we can't.
Oh! That's the power of the Hui, able to get kills from off screen, but now it could cost Bear their life. A nice flee there. Spiraling Despair actually will push the Shyvana off, so Hui gets one for free.
Yeah, we definitely saw that. I believe it was at MSI. We saw Trophy 70% at Cassante from full health on Mel with just the stacks in the ult. That was very funny. It was essentially almost the same thing that we just saw here. But we've got an Infernal Soul this game, so we're both in the wrong, sadly, but it's gonna we're gonna have to see who starts prioritizing these dragons, because with the rather big gold lead of 5,000 gold at 15 minutes, I think you know, the time lapse Oh no, Saucy
Here's
getting
Court
jumped
once
on.
again.
Oh, but there's no ult.
Cyclone though. Yeah, the judge line does connect though. Laos could be in some trouble
this
here.
could be dangerous.
Doesn't really do that much damage right now. D-Shot will be the target. Dragon's Descent with a nice fear. Saucy picks up one there in the mid lane, and it's actually Squirtle Squad's play that's turned against them.
Oh, here's the call to Forge God.
Oranhorn wants revenge. Volter's trying to go forward.
Into the double knockout.
Does still have the flash on the way. Here coming through Spiraling Despair, but now you're on the wrong side of the map. Will it be enough damage though? Here's the Shyvana to back it up. And Hui will be taken down. That's a lot of gold over the Shyvana.
And we went from a 5k gold lead to a 3.5k gold lead in about 35 seconds. Swings a little bit. Saucy.
Cyclone's up now. Cyclone's up. Here's the damage. Saucy will go down. Dawning Shadow over the top. Court picks up one, and it will be Cloud picking up the other one. So that's another little bit of gold swing back for Squirtle Squad now.
Yeah. It definitely is good that the money is going to this Wukong. He's definitely one of the champions that does need a decent amount of money to transition, and is a champion that does a rather decent amount of useful damage with his money. We see though that Shyvana is picking up a lot of kills, and you can never really counter Shyvana out. We've seen some beautiful dragons descend onto 4 people with like an Omega Fireball, and then like that's just GG's. But we're getting a little bit more of an AD Shyvana build here when Fatherless into Kraken Slayer. So the big fireball damage we're kind of expecting to see probably at least 2 to 3 items away from being more of a reality.
I would definitely have to agree, but I mean, either way, this is kind of exactly what I asked for in Champ Select for Squirtle Squad here. Their top lane is performing. They have the aggression. They're the ones kind of making the plays. I mean, Court has ganked like every lane, I think, so far, at least once. And it's been very successful nearly every time. So this is kind of exactly what they need to actually get the Hui and Senna online before the mid-game team fights arrive.
He's also maintained high CS, which normally one of the things we see when we see a jungler gank a metric amount is that they start suffering behind because, you know, they just don't have time to their camps. But Wukong has farm advantage over Shyvana, who has been ganking a lot as well. But, you know, like it's just, the namesake of Shyvana is farm, do stuff, farm some more.
Oh, Kuzu might be in a scrap here, yeah. Building up that Gnar bar before the next dragon's in about 130. So if we fight right now, Court does just go in. Laos is the target. Oh. Nice ultimate there against the wall, catching out Saucy. What a beautiful use of the Gnar there. It's a double kill over to Court JJ once again. And it's just disaster for Pride. One move after another, but here I might have spoken too soon because Kuzu could be the victim here. Nice flash, nice hop though. Flash follow from the Shyvana.
Oh, the fireball misses?
And the fireball, Kuzu still trying to run, gets the shield, walks it off. This Gnar actually finally does go down, but it takes
shut down the Victor though.
From Jack. Look at the nice CC chain there. And wow, they were desperate to kill Kuzu.
The Volter kind of sold his AD carry out. Volter flash eat the Gnar and left Lucian kind of just hanging with a Mega Nard, a Gnar, and a Wukong in Cyclone. So it's just, it just feels pretty bad when you decide to sell your AD carry up the hill for a couple of rice crackers. Hopefully, definitely don't see that in future team fights, because this Lucian is the actually only source of physical damage on the team. So if he's gone, let's just say those MR items are going to be doing a lot of weightlifting.
Yes, they will. And we're kind of seeing some items now on Cloud. Those souls are stacking as well. So maybe a little bit more damage coming here from the Squirtle AD carry soon. But either way, we're setting up for the dragon here. It is the Infernal Soul, as you mentioned. 1 dragon apiece for each of these teams so far. And currently it is Squirtle with control of the pit. We'll see if that is continued. But I sense a fight brewing. Look at Saucy, look at the damage. Cyclone on top. Does flash to get out 4 now. But now Court JJ just holding down the front line. Dawning Shadow over the top. Here's Kuzu to put on a show once again. There are Court JJ and Kuzu lands the boulder from far away. Saucy goes down 2. This Gnar is just unstoppable. There's the depth charge catch Volter on the way out. Jack should be the last one standing in just a second here. Arcane Storm over the top, and actually Cloud walking forward, and I spoke too soon. Volter is able to walk it off, but either way, Squirtle just coming out way on top.
What is Volter doing in these team fights? I could have sworn he's got an AFK warning, because like, what do you mean he's never there when the team fight starts? It feels like he's always at least a screen or two away. Ooh, maybe? No, okay, Jack doesn't get picked out here. But yeah, no, having no frontline, the Lucian also kind of playing pretty sloppily here for Saucy. Has been caught out multiple times, walking over vision without priority. As the squishy Lucian, you are the physical source of damage this game, and if you're not careful, you're gonna get hand stiffed by a big fat wallet.
Yeah, I mean, this gold lead is getting closer and closer to insurmountable, I think, here. You know, I mean, it's never is. You know, there's always a chance to come back, but man, it is really tough at this point when you're like 7,000 gold behind as a team. Not to mention the almost 4,000 individual gold lead for the Gnar at this point. That is really, really hard to play when Kuzu's diving on your head and targeting you in every team fight.
Yeah, he's going a bit of a squishy item. Is going to have the wits end just to really try and start maximizing out that DPS. So might see some like future windows where he is easier to kill. But yeah, right now Ornn doesn't really have anything to talk about. He's down a complete item plus, and eventually I'll have a Koenig Rookern, but. I feel like the big problem right now that we have for Pride is that Volter's not there in the team fights, and he has to be there.
Oh, look at Kuzu. Mega Gnar's just running out, so actually more DPS now onto Jack, but a brilliant use of the roam there, and Kuzu is just putting on a show. I already said it once, but there's just no other way to describe it. This has been an incredible game from the Gnar.
Yeah. But we definitely needed him to step up because, like, in the composition, it just kind of felt a little bit sloppy, at least with what the mini Gnar would be able to do. But we just saw that if you time your Mega Gnar so that way you can do a lot of DPS when you're little, as long as you get your CC down when you're big, the little guy can just run people down. He does have technically Ghost every 3 auto attacks with no internal CDR. Good pick.
Could just be going down here. Ignite coming out, but actually the shield does save the Brahm's life. Bear is here on the bot side, trying to get some more damage on to Volter. Very nice look from Squirtle Squad, but doesn't quite work out this time.
Yeah, that is the Braum Flash though, so that's another tool used for Peel that is now on cooldown. And we might have double burn items here on Victor, but we're not at the 45-minute mark where the Chovy Victor won like 2v5s T1's entire roster with a giant Arcane Storm. You know, we're nowhere near that kind of fed on the Victor.
And now I will be looking towards the Baron. It looks like next Dragon's in 140 as well, though, so could just wait it out and try to have another fight on that bot side. But what do you think Pride has to do to try and get a winning team fight here? Because it just looks so difficult so far.
They just have to properly use their engage. Because so far the Dragon's Descents have basically all missed, and if they've hit anyone, they've hit the insanely fed Kuzu. When it's like a 1v1 scenario, so the Kuzu just wins the brawls against Shyvana at this point in the game. And Ornn's got to land a Call of the Forge God. I think the last few times we've seen a Call of the Forge God, it's kind of just been to try and hit. Ooh, whoa.
Could see a repeat. I'm getting some deja vu. Stun actually does come out though, so Kuzu might have to leave it off. But crucially did not have that ultimate connect at the beginning there. So now Kuzu is on the run if they want to try and look for it. The Dragon's Descent is still available. Winter's Bite actually does connect. That's huge. Forces out the flash from the Gnar. Here's the rest of the team. Saucy, if he picks up this kill, it could be very, very good, but it's actually Shyvana who takes it. But either way...
That's going to be Baron.
Yeah, that is going to be Baron.
And it's an objective bounty Baron, so funnily enough, Dragon's worth more money than Baron is. But it's still going to be a decent amount of money, but let's see what they lose for it. I think they lost the bottom outer turrets, and if that's all you lose for a Baron and a nice Ornn.
Yeah, not sure what the Ornhorn was doing there. They could look for the prolonged engage here. Court is trying to eye out Saucy, I believe. But that recall is going to be very quick. So here's the fight on a little bit further down the lane. Nice hook on Shyvana there. A lot of burst damage as Bear takes that one. But, you know, getting one kill and losing Baron isn't exactly worth it. They want to look for even more. Triple Cyclone, Dawning Shadow on top of the backline. Laos will be the next victim. Court JJ is legendary. They keep finding these incredible engages. I am loving it as they keep it going for now. But that seems like a worthy trade for the Baron.
Oh, yeah. Because Baron doesn't exactly give the most amount of money. Yes, there was an objective bounty, but the thing is, when objective bounties are active, if you take a big objective bounty, you just turn objective bounties off. So, and the fact that then they then just entered that team fight, losing 2 members. I don't think there was any shutdowns here for the Shyvana. But yeah, no, the win condition, like I keep saying, for Pride is actually having engaged, and so far I don't know where that is. You know, like I filed a missing persons report because I haven't seen Volter in these team fights, and they were just using the ult to, I don't know, hear the sound effects at this point. It's gonna be Infernal Soul point 2 though for Squirtle Squad, and that is huge. Because if you get Infernal Soul with this Fed Wukong, this Fed Gnar, anyone getting Mega Gnar'd into the wall just dies. Like, they're gonna explode.
Oh, easily. And we are getting some more items on these scaling carries now too. I wonder if we can get a stack check for Cloud as well on the Senna. Maybe see how many stacks the Senna's at here. But you know, Hui, oh yeah, looks like 74 stacks, which I don't know too much about that, but I think that is a pretty good number at this stage in the game. And you know, Bear getting a lot of items, double burn as well, similar to Jack on the Victor. These carries are coming online.
Before the nerfs, it was 80 stacks at 18 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. So, Cassetta really starts to pop off at the 80 to 120 range, and we're starting to get to that point. But I think no matter how well Cloud does in these coming team fights, I don't think they're stealing Kuzu's MVP.
Oh, look at the Braum. Could be the target once again. Nice Glacial Fissure, but it doesn't save your life. The culling goes sideways. What is going on with Pride's ultimate usage in this first game? I don't know if it's jitters, I don't know if it's nerves, but so far, Squirtle Squad are just running over this game.
This could be bad. Okay, we're fighting in
but there's no way to follow it. Dragon's Descent, though, onto Court. Nice dodge, goes around the edge. Here's onto Jack with the Cyclone. They completely tripped it out. Court does go down, but sets up his team so well for this fight. Saucy goes down. Shyvana should be next. Blast Cone is not helping. Cloud's hitting Volter, but there's no one else left. It's just the Ornn with an open base.
Yeah, Shyvana hit the Blast Cone herself. Blast Cone herself back into the Gnar. So honestly, we're seeing 30-second death timers. This could just be the game. We have a big wave. Yeah, we have a big wave. I think we should just end.
Yeah, 12 seconds on Saucy.
It looks like they don't want to chance it, though. I do believe with this 10k lead, I think they should try to get a little bit more. At least this turret, if anything. Okay, no. I mean, rather disappointing rewards to reap, as there's nothing currently up on the map to get. We did crack the first inhibitor line, but the comeback mechanics do happen when you start spawning super minions. You have to be very careful because you start giving a lot of that catch-up XP we keep talking about. Victor almost at the level 16. You saw how fast Court died in that last team, but there's no magic resistance on this monkey. Yes, there's a Death Stance, but Death Stance versus Burn, you actually take more damage because the pre-mitigation follows through. So you just bleed really, really fast. So we'll see how we are, though, getting some key items. For the side of Pride, you know, we are at 90% crit. Actually, can we hover over the Essence Reaver real quick? I just want to see if it gives more than 25% crit. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, so we're still at 90% crit. So it does a little bit more on hit damage, but we're maybe 5-6 minutes away from 100% crit Lucian, and the culling can hurt. It hasn't landed or done much recently, but it's still something not to. Ooh, Jack.
Yeah, nice auto attack range. I really like how Squirtle Squad has been using the Black Mist there from Cloud, you know, trying to hide the engage, trying to get up close without any vision going over to Pride. But
it definitely has been the difference between Senna inting and Senna not inting in that early game. Because I swear,
yes,
Cloud should have died at least 3 more times than they have.
But Walter just slowly whittled down there. You're tanky, but not tanky enough as Ornhorn came down on top, but you're already down a member for Pride. Now having all 5 of their team, they're going for this next inhib. The culling used for the wave is not exactly what you want to do with your most powerful damage ultimate. And this is not looking great for Pride so far.
Ooh, Blast going in. Okay.
Yeah.
But or JJ could find something, but yeah, that static shift proc almost reminds me of a Hex Tech Soul proc every time it happens. It's kind of funny. Yeah, 20 seconds till the Ornn. Almost at the point where we're getting double super minions. And we're not
I guess we're just backing off.
Yeah.
Going for the soul is probably the safe option.
Oh, yeah. Infernal Soul, one unchallenged. Nara deciding to get a little bit tankier with the track show, you know, not going the full Wahoo Blade of the Ruined King build. Ooh, but the Fnatic Death Push might be enough. No, okay. He's going to force the Unbreakable. Just a 10-second cooldown. Maybe there is a window. We're looking. Ornn teleporting behind. He's trying to find something. Yeah. We need a good Dragon's Descent here.
Engage. Ornhorn over the top. Look at Cyclone in the back. Kuzu with the ultimate. Dragon's Descent has to be used backwards. Look at them just going up and down into their graves. They fall into the dirt. Brides, all their carries are gone. All their hope is gone. Look at their base. It's almost gone. This should be the end of the game here as Squirtle Squad will take the first game of this best of 3.
Yeah, if I'm Pride and I got another top that can play, low-key, no downplaying it, but I think Walter needs a reset. He unfortunately just did not feel like he was there this game.
Oh, ultimate backwards. Gets the stun. Do they get one more kill? They can't do it. But they do get the first game, 30 kills to 9. And I don't know how you're feeling, Sanctum, but that was a pretty dominant first game.
Yeah, we saw the scaling late game team just get spoon-fed kills. And I mean, if you're playing a team that wins in the late game and you're just being fed kills anyways, you tend to win the game faster. And it just happened to happen. There's not much we can do here when you're too far behind. When we see 22k damage here on the Victor, but the fact that Lucian did as much damage as Shyvana and as much as almost Ornn, a little bit sad to see here. A lot of technical misplays from the side of Saucy and Laos, and hopefully we get that rectified because the draft felt pretty comfortable, at least in Champ Select here for the side of Pride, but the execution was nowhere to be found. Points to win a game, when you draft engage, you have to use the engage, and the engage has to use their engage to engage, not to sightsee. This is the best pro tip I can give.
Yeah, I think this was definitely not expected, at least from my front. I know we said these teams, they are even on record. Pride actually was the higher seeded team in their group, and it was pretty close between 2 and 3 and 4 for both the groups. But either way, it was surprising here for me. But do you have a player of the game for that first one?
Oh, Kuzu. 100% Kuzu. It can't be anyone else.
Yeah, that's
the court had some fantastic players, but Kuzu single-handedly won the game. We're just finding Nars just yeeting, Leroy Jenkinsing people into a wall and saying, yo, better luck and execute. And I wish we would have seen some trash talk in the alt chat, but maybe that's something that's not really allowed. So definitely need to see some more benevolence here from Mr. Kuzu in game number 2, because he fumbled level 1, but then he went Super Saiyan the rest of the game.
Yeah, maybe I just need to doubt the R5 pick every time, and then they're gonna pop off. I'll be like, I don't love the Gnar here, and then it ends up carrying the whole game. So, very, very funny. But it looks like the teams are getting ready for draft. So I think we're almost ready for that. But anything else you want to say about that first game?
Horrible execution. Do better, Pride. If not, we're going home early.
Yeah,
it's a best of 3, right? So like, you had your for fun T1 circus game that did not look like a T1 circus game; it just looked like a circus game. So now we need to be dodging skill shots. We can't be using Lucian as the primary form of getting caught out to start team fights. And I thought the play was pretty sloppy. I'd like to see something a little bit better, especially because the difference here is that 6th place plays 3rd, 7th plays 2nd. So if you lose, you're actively playing against a harder matchup.
Yes, so there's definitely
ban. I like it. Like, respect my boy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll just be looking at the top lane once again. If Pride does keep the same roster, I'm looking for them to use that R5 pick. I think Volter needs to have the counter pick or something. They need to have a little bit more confidence in the top lane there to kind of at least, if nothing else, stop the bleeding. But we'll see what they want to do for the draft. Either way, as I guess I alluded to there, they did swap to the red side. So now they do have that final pick of the draft. They do have a little bit more counter pick ability. But now we'll see what Squirtle want for B1.
It feels like we might be seeing mid lane priority. Never mind, the Syndra was banned. Ooh, wait. Oh yeah, I forget. In these leagues, Ambessa always gets left through. That's just kind of crazy. Like, Ambessa perma-banned everywhere else. Perma-banned in all my ranked games. And I'm like silver. And I don't want to see that. But yeah, if Kuzu's going to play the way he played Gnar on Ambessa, Ambessa is a champion that's 50,000 times better than Gnar. So yeah, we're probably seeing a 20-minute FF at this point. I'm pretty sure this is top lane blind pick Ambessa. Normally, into Ambessa, you could pick Jace, pick Renekton, Rumble. See if that is the case. If it is a jungle Ambessa, which has seen some nerfs, I mean, still does insane amount of monster damage. Fog of War, public executions are kind of nasty. But I do like this Aurora here coming out of Pride. It's a little bit more proactive, less reactive. This could be Volter's Aurora, though, to be fair. If we do believe, because one of the big problems that Ambessa has is playing against ranged champions. So while yes, at level 6 she does go Unga Bunga, Eclipse, Boogie Boogie, she's got to get there. And if she's if her Eclipse is delayed because she has to buy T2 boost, she has to buy a Hexstreaker, has to buy this, has to buy that. I really do like the aggressiveness of this draft here from Pride. They saw that playing the we lose the game clock slowly didn't work, so they're going to try and speed it up. Aurora, fantastic late game. And Nefiri, fantastic great game. But the thing is about these champions is they're known as reset champions. So they have skills that come off cooldown when you get takedown. Nefiri, it's her ult. Aurora, it's her W. I want to say the weirding. I think that's the name of the Aurora W. I'm not too sure. And for Nefiri, it's the relentless, not the relentless pursuit. I want to say it's called on. Or
I don't play
whatever. Anyways, dive the dog ability. That's what it's called. I do like seeing this kind of like insurance policy. When playing against dive, turn off the lights, makes it a lot harder on the diving team to want to play. And now you have the diving possibility yourself if ever you get the element of surprise. Also, Rise just when he gets to the 3 item mark with the new Nuka-Cola button or whatever the amplifier is called, amplificator, whatever. He presses a button and he turns into nuclear fission. That being said, I do like Xayah. When you see Nocturne Ambessa, I do love a champion that can say no, get me out of here. But it does mean we might see a Rakan ban because Xayah Rakan kind of nasty. And Nautilus is often also paired with Xayah, was used last game. Braum, who's also used with Xayah, was used last game. So it's like Rakan, Rel, Renata.
I was thinking Renata. I mean, if you have Ambessa Nocturne, Renata would be great counter engage, but Zaya also doesn't do the best with enchanters in general. So it will be kind of hard to find a support pick here for Pride. But I mean, I'm talking about the Rise real quick. I don't know how much of an LCS fan that you are, but we saw Loki play this champion last weekend, and it was something to behold. So
I think
like you look
Loki
at the
has,
Ashe ultimates, I'm gonna look at these Rise ultimates.
Oh yeah, You mean when he win traded that team fight?
Basically, yeah. I mean, twice as well. Like the realm warps were left a lot to be desired. That's what I'll say.
And the enemy team coaching staff was like on Twitter, our win condition, Loki's Rise ult.
Exactly. So I'll be taking a look at the realm warps this time around. I want to see what Squirtle Squad can do with them, not only individually, but they are a very, very important team move when coordinated properly. So I'm excited to see that.
We banned the Ashe, we banned the Caitlyn, so we're trying to give Zaya kind of a safer laning. I mean, Lucian's already gone. Technically speaking, though, you know who's short, hairy, and annoying? Ziggs. And he happens to be great into short range AD carries that can't really walk up if they don't want to get bombed. The Jax is a little bit confusing. I thought the Aurora was more of the mid lane pick, but Aurora into Ryze not actually one of the best matchups just because Ryze literally builds tank and then presses the Nuka-Cola button to say I win. I also like Jax into Ambessa, a skill-based matchup, but not as bad as the Camille versus Jax. It's who presses the counter, the hook shot versus counter strike button loses first. But if Kuzu is going to play the way he played Gnar, I definitely do. Sorry, I got the top laners mixed up. If Vault is going to play Jax the way he played Ornn, this is a shuffle up and go home kind of game. I do like that we have a Jinx. We have some kind of rather safe team fighting prospects. Sometimes Nocturne and Ambessa, they can dive in for sometimes nothing. Sometimes you yell Leroy Jenkins and you just die. But the Jinx, if there's at least some kind of resets, could see some nice stuff. I wonder what we're pairing with. Is it just a Lulu? No, okay, it's gonna be the route. We're taking more engage away here from Pride, and like what's left? Thresh?
Yeah, I mean Thresh would make a lot of sense. If you want to be spicy, you'd go with like a Taric and be kind of funny there. I'm not sure what the champ pool is here or Pride's support. But, I mean, I don't love the Jinx necessarily, just because there is an Aurora and a Fury to threaten her, not to mention Jax flanks. But if they can stay safe, I think definitely is one of the best options there in the bot lane. But I don't know about you. I'm seeing a no pick for Pride there. So maybe we can see what that ends up being.
It's a Leona. Okay. So what I'm really liking here though about Squirtle Squad is they have a bevy of threats. You got to worry about the Nocturne, the Ryze, the Jinx, the Ambessa. It's not just one champion does damage. No, everyone does damage. If you ignore the Fed Ambessa, of which Kuzu might get this game, you just lose the game. If you ignore a Fed Ryze, he pentakills your team with one EQ. And then if Jinx gets resets, well, she is kind of just the best champion in the game. Given that she'll have so much extra range for those 5 seconds. So we'll have to see how Pride's able to play out at least the early game. It was very sloppy last time. I had some good dragon fights, quote unquote, but after that it was like he was just tunneling downwards. That TP bot lane from Kuzu kind of just sealed the game in my eyes when he just TP'd and mugged everyone, so it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Kuzu just completely carried that game. It is rare that we see 2 games like that in a row, but honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised. If Kuzu's feeling it today, that definitely could just happen again on the Ambessa. That is one of the picks that you can just take over the game on, to say the least.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you thinking for Dragon Soul this game?
I feel like Hextech so fantastic on both sides. We didn't even see it as an option in the first 3 dragons, so I'm gonna just go with it. I feel like it's just a really good brawly kind of like it just feels like a brawly kind of game. I want to see some slows and stuff. I go ocean normally, but I'm feeling that hex deck.
All right, I'm here for it. I'm thinking either ocean or cloud for me. I'm gonna steal your thunder. I'll take the ocean away from you.
Fair.
We'll see if it ends up being that. But one thing we got to talk about first is our sponsor for today, Zen Market. They are your one-stop solution for buying products directly from Japan. They'll help you buy items for over 10,000 shops in Japan, as well as place bids on auctions on your behalf. They'll even consolidate all the items you purchase safely into one box and can ship internationally. They provide excellent customer service in 19 languages, which is why Zen Market is trusted by over 2 million users worldwide. Check the panel below or click the link in chat to try them out now. If you sign up with promo code Aegis, you'll receive 3,000 yen off your first international shipping fee. So thank you very much, Zen Market, for sponsoring us over here at Aegis. And we will see you once we get onto the rift for potentially the last game of today.
全マーケットは迅速な発送ですぐにお届けします。あ、ボクセット？あ、
大丈夫？
でも直接来てくれたの？
これ
って
漫画みたいだったね。
しかも今衣装着てるし、花でもあれば完璧なのに。
完璧だよ。壊れ物だから自分で届けたかったんだ。
あなたって完璧。ありがとう、全マーケット。